We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels, better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show.
What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Wednesday, February 18th. I'm fired up to be here. It's a news day Wednesday. I have a sweet crew hanging with me. We're going to break down all kinds of fun topics, all kinds of news topics, and all of wrestling. Let me first and foremost, though, send this one across the country to the DMV area, Northern Virginia, the DC metro area in general, to a guy that owns a college. Ant University's in the building. How are you? Happy Wednesday, my friend.
Good afternoon, my colleagues. How are you guys doing today? I am glad to be here. It is another Wednesday with your boy talking a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of everything. So I can't wait to get into this. We do have great crew. Now I'll kick it right back to you, Clark. Let's go.
Absolutely, no doubt. And I love when I get to do this one. I get to send it back to my hometown of Chicago because Davis is in the building. Happy Wednesday, Davis. Good to have you as always.
Glad to have y'all. Glad y'all are having me. We got some fun topics here. We got some good news, some breaking news that came out a little bit with John Cena. Interesting topic. I can't wait to get into this. And a couple more days to Elimination Chamber, 10 days exactly. So let's lock in.
No doubt about it. I'm stoked. Let's get right into it. We got a few comments. Let's run through those first. First off, from Zach Minger, it is ice cream for breakfast day. I missed it. Shoot. Unfortunately, it is noon. Might have to make it ice cream for lunch day for me, but we'll talk about that later. We got Alex Duffy in the comments with, hey, everyone, what's up? What's going on, Alex? Good to have you back as always. And then happy hump day, WR crew, from friend of the show, Fernando Zayas. What's going on, Fernando? We've also got DCX Warlord here with, on a scale of 1 to 10, Clark, how many times did you laugh seeing Miles Burns stop it? So I gotta come clean here. I missed last night's NXT because I attended Championship Wrestling from United Wrestling Network in Irvine at the Spectrum. So I didn't even watch anything that happened on NXT. I had, Shad held it down with the crew, with Drizzy on the two originals on Off the Air last night. I didn't get to see that, but I was hanging with the best unsigned tag team in all of pro wrestling. And that's 5150, Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie Monster. Shout out to them. And they had a great match last night. Check it out. That's going to be up on YouTube later. It was a great show, no doubt. We've also got Chi-Town in the house from Fernando. But let's get this whole show started because, we could talk about yesterday a lot, but let's talk about different stuff because this one's really fascinating here. So, according to Fightful Select, Chris Jericho is now under a frozen contract with AEW. Now, neither Jericho or AEW have confirmed that to be the case, but Fightful Select, pretty darn accurate a lot of the times. This is an interesting one. If that's the case, that may explain things like his absence from the Royal Rumble, his absence from debuting at a Saturday Night's Main Event earlier in the year, maybe his absence from even debuting on a Raw or a SmackDown, anything like that. It could also just be, rumor and conjecture. We don't really know for sure. He had Tekla on Talk is Jericho right before she won the title, and they were praising Tony Khan on that program. There's a lot to unpack here, and it's an interesting one. I want to get your initial thoughts on this, Ant, though, because I do think it's a big deal if that's the reason Jericho wasn't in the Rumble.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. When I hear terms like frozen contract, it always comes up to me weird because I feel like unless there's an injury, unless there's something like that, you really can't freeze a contract. And I don't feel like Jericho has done anything to make his contract be extended. So, and if there was something like that and he was really just wanting to go to WWE and get off AEW, he wouldn't have had Tekla on Talk is Jericho. So I I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I just think wherever Jericho shows up, we'll be excited to see him. I know we talked about that last week when I was on one of the days. I was on 3 days last week. Shout out to the crew. But it's just going to be interesting to see where Jericho's music hits and how he comes up. And no matter where it is, the pop is going to be insane. I think he's done a really good job of staying relevant without being super in the limelight during this time period. So whenever and wherever he does come out, it's going to be exciting. So
I agree. And I think it also just, we'll know by which music, right? Is it going to be Break the Walls Down, or are they going to play Judas again in an AEW arena, right? It's going to be one or the other at the end of the day. That's the way I feel about it. We got a few comments here, though, that I want to run through as well. And I've never heard of a frozen contract before from Fernando. And that's an interesting one. So like with independent contractors, if you get injured and maybe you're paid while you're still injured, you can actually roll over. You're still owed the time, and you get paid whatever your normal, price point is. And it does exist. That's something that happens with independent contractors often. Like you'll see it on the PJ Tour with caddies. If a caddy gets injured, he'll be paid while he's away, but then also he had signed on for a certain amount of weeks. That's one place you'd see it. But we have a really interesting comment here from Donnie De Silva. And I think someone is feeding Fightful nonsense, throw people off the surprise. Jericho was away with the band, and those were approved absences. Can't freeze his contract for that. So it's interesting. I saw Quarantine, Jericho's, they play Makeupless Kiss exclusively, which I didn't think there were that many Makeupless Kiss songs. I went to the concert. I even paid for the meet and greet. I don't know why I did that. I got a signed guitar pick from Chris Jericho, but to each his own, right? He was nice about it. What an odd crowd too. San Juan Capistrano. I mean, sorry, I'm rambling here. I'm just riffing at this point, but at the end of the day, the band stuff, there's no doubt about that. I think we've seen that all over the internet, right? He's been touring with Fozzy. That's all he's mostly posting about outside of his podcast stuff where he's talking about wrestling. Like the majority of the time when we hear from Chris Jericho, it has to do with music and not necessarily inside the squared circle type stuff. Davis, I got to ask you, man, though, what do you think this means? Is this potentially the reason he wasn't at the Rumble? Do you agree with that? Do you have thoughts on what this all means? Do you think maybe Donnie's onto something here, like I kind of do, that this could be a little bit of smoke and mirrors? What are your thoughts on it, Davis?
Yeah, it could be a multitude of things. It could be, it's smoke and mirrors. It's very, very reasonable to think, and it could be that. In my opinion, just going forward here, I think the best time for Jericho to even come to WWE is after WrestleMania. Right now, we're in a position to where I think we just need to go with what we have now. They've already suffered quite a bit as far as, you got Braun Breaker being unfortunately injured, Seth Rollins being unfortunately injured, Bianca Belair, opting to have her surgery a little later than, probably what a lot of people may like as far as like creatively. Don't know the behind the scenes behind that. That could be something she wanted to heal on her own. But as far as bringing Jericho in now, I think it makes the situation very sloppy. It would be a good pop moment for Chicago, don't get me wrong. It would be an amazing pop moment if he does come there. But where does it lead to? And that's like the ultimate picture you have to look at, to where is he just like thrown into a feud that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think coming in after Mania makes the most sense, and it gets that Raw after Mania pop. It's similar to what they had last year. I think Braun Breaker siding with Paul Heyman was their big pop moment they had. As far as the contract being frozen, it wouldn't surprise me if that is even the case. It's a business at the end of the day. You want to protect and you want to hurt the other business. That's what these freezes are for, is to hurt the competition from signing them. You look at, and even an Andrade, whatever situation that actually was, that should be its own documentary. But even something like that, WWE wanted to prevent Andrade from going to AEW as much as possible. He ended up going there, but at the end of the day, WWE wanted to do everything in its power to not give AEW anything. And AEW feels the same way. We saw a situation with Rey Fenix, I believe, was in a very, very muddy situation. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. He may be a free agent and no one's saying anything right now. And, AEW's tech team is just not taking him off the website and they're just prolonging it. But it's a good wait and see. I'm somebody, the way I approach the Royal Rumble is my expectations are whatever happens, happens. And I'm just going to be surprised going forward.
Yeah, I hear you 100%. I think it's really fascinating to hear this. I don't want to call it a nothing burger, but it's like not even helpful, the idea of the report. Like there's so much we can speculate on possibilities wise, a lot of what ifs, a lot of what abouts, right? Like it's just one of those deals. And it's a fascinating situation. I will say this. We've got a few comments here that really cracked me up. Alex Duffy, who I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Who's in the crate? Wrong answers only. Now, this is kind of funny, though, because we're talking about the guy that invented that countdown clock, remember? Right at the turn of the millennium. Talk about a guy that knows how to make a debut. I mean, what if it was Chris Jericho in the crate in Chicago, like you mentioned, and all of a sudden you break the walls down, the walls of the crate, and you play the song? I mean, come on, man. That would be pretty electric.
Yeah, I would pop. I would pop for it. If he comes out with the 2K26, he's like, buy the game. I'll be like,
I'd lose my mind. If it has anything to do with the video game, I'll lose my mind. If the crate does. No, seriously, like if this ends up, that'd be like gobbledygooker bad. Right? Like that would be that bad. If it's like, it's the fourth cover of the video game. It's the extra special edition of
Triple
the
H
video game.
97 edition.
It's the King of Kings.
The game.
Edition. Yeah. Brought to you by Motorhead. Like, you get all the entrance music this time.
My time.
It's the Man of 1,004 Holds edition.
Yes. The Man of 1,004 Holds edition. Oh my God. Now, if they did that out of the crate, I would, you know what? I would give a pass for that. If it's just a giant scroll and it's half the list and 1,004 holds. I mean, Jericho has been making lists. By the way, we always talk, when we talk about Chris Jericho and the list and how great it was, he's been making lists since 1,004 holds, man. Yeah. We've known about that for multiple decades. I mean, that's one of the best bits of all time, though. Like going into commercial with armbar and then coming out of commercial with armbar is the like it just
suicida.
Yeah,
armbar.
Like armbar.
It's so great.
1,004. The funniest part is he does the whole bit. He never gets to the 4 more holds he knows than Malenko. And that's a stone left unturned in wrestling. I think someday I'd like to know which particular 4 holds it is that Jericho knew that Dean did not. Because he was the man of the 1,000 holds at the time. That was the whole point of the promo.
Just ask him.
He knew. Is it all 4 arm bars? It had to be all 4 arm bars. If it's an ad, I'm going to crash out from Alex Duffy. Yeah, there's Gunther is the man of 1,000 sleeper holds. My old guy
Chris Canyon was so
shout
good.
out Canyon. Canyon's a legend. Yeah, absolutely, yes. Donnie. I'm glad you brought him up because one of the most underrated, legendary, innovative stars of the industry. There's no debate about that. I mean, whether it was his work in the flock, even the Mortis stuff, for a guy his size, what he was able to do in the ring offensively and all of that, his whole career, like a guy that just got overlooked in a lot of ways. And definitely always a shout out to Canyon on this show. No doubt about that. Because
WCW had such great talent.
Yeah. Growing up a big WCW fan, the flock, Canyon, all those storylines were just so freaking fun. There's no other way to describe them, you know? Now let's talk about other people's childhood heroes. John Cena. Let's talk about Mr. Never Seen 17. I almost hit my own microphone there. That freaked me out. Freaking out. So he told No Contest Wrestling that he was originally planned to win that 17th title in Las Vegas, Nevada at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns in 2021. 2021, but by 5 p.m. that afternoon, I don't know. When do you call it evening? Is it 5?
5 p.m. That's evening. That's
Is
early
4 evening? Or is that dusk? When's dusk?
We're getting off topic.
Either way, so at 5 o'clock in Las Vegas, they secured Brock Lesnar and they scrapped that plan. So Roman Reigns won the match and we had the return. Wild stuff here. This is interesting. Would have really changed the course of, I think, Cena's retirement tour had you pulled the trigger on that plan at the time. I also find it interesting that he mentions the Brock part, considering Brock has followed quite a few Cena matches with returns like that late in John's career, and it's kind of wild. Hindsight's always 2020. It's too late to go back now, but Ant, I want your thoughts on this because this is kind of a wild one to think about what it would have looked like in an alternate universe had John Cena won that 17th title in 2021.
Yeah. Well, in an era where we were still in the COVID era. I think maybe just starting to come out of that and I mean, what a pop that would have been. WWE was definitely looking for different ways to just engage the crowd more. So that would have been a special moment for that SummerSlam with that Roman Reigns and John Cena match. And listening to that interview that Cena gave, just the consummate professional that he is. And if it went down the way he recounts and that, I mean, what a great guy that is, just what a company man, if you want to look at it that way. He, the change came to him at 5 p.m. He went to talk to Roman and Paul, and they were like, all right, so how do we want to finish this? And he goes, you're just going to hit a spear. It's going to be a clean finish. You're going to hit a spear, one finisher. You're going to get the pin. And that was huge for Roman because, that was at the beginning of the bloodline stuff. That was before Roman really started to take off as the tribal chief. And I think wins like that are what elevated Roman to the top of what he was, of where he ended up becoming during that major run.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a great point there because to me, logically, it made sense that Roman would win that match, even at the time. So the idea of John winning it and then dropping it back to Roman, as was mentioned in the interview, and I'm not calling anybody out on this, not John Cena. I'm not saying like he did anything wrong, but there's been this odd thing, I think, over Cena's retirement tour, whether it be WWE Unreal, shout out Chris Weaver, or other programs, other podcasts that Cena's spoken on, where there's sort of been a point made about him never turning anything down and just like sort of going with the flow storyline wise. And then after the fact, we get like proof. And am I the only one? Am I going tinfoil hat Clark here, or am I the only one thinking that? Because it is odd to me. It feels like it continues to happen. Like they're like showing receipts like, look, John really does do what he said. And it comes across as odd and forced to me. And I it's not that I find it hard to believe that Brock Lesnar was approved at 5 o'clock or whatever. But this idea of sort of painting John Cena as the I'll do whatever it is, but I was originally booked to win. It doesn't sound like sour grapes. It just sounds like you're just trying to like reprove an old reputation. I don't know. You're one of the biggest Cena fans I know. You were at the last match, Davis. So I do want to ask you about that. What were your thoughts on the comments?
If that is true, I felt kind of sour about how he did win a 17th title match, but the way he actually won it with Travis Scott involved looks like gold compared to what they were going to do. Having him win a record-breaking title for 5 minutes? What? What are we doing? Obviously, that was, peak, era, but I don't understand the concept of this. It's not beyond, that regime to do something like that, but that's disrespectful to do for something like that, especially with somebody homegrown that John Cena is, and just been a company man. And at that point, with him just winning the title from Roman, really wouldn't have done much damage. At that point, if you really think about it, Roman was scheduled to drop the title to Brock. There was a report there at day one a couple months later. So makes me think, like, was this big reign even supposed to take off the way it did?
That's a good point. And I wonder if they're trying to make us think that that's the case, because at the time I felt like he was pretty undeniable, even headed into WrestleMania 39, even that late in the process. It's really an odd one. And I also, right before we go to the next subject, one last thing. My first instinct when I saw this quote in this interview and everything from John Cena was, 2021, didn't Becky Lynch also like oddly squash Bianca Belair? Like, what a hectic day that had to have been. Brock's not confirmed until 5 p.m. Yeah, Vegas is on West Coast time. That's 8 Eastern. That's the start time of the card. And all of those, like, what time did Becky confirm she was going to show up to wrestle for 90 seconds against Bianca Belair? Right? Like, that was my wheels just started spinning inside of my head when I heard it. It's just an odd one to me. But with that, let's move on to our next topic today, because it's a funny one too. It's a news day. Let's have some fun, my friends. On the Impulsive Podcast, Logan Paul specifically said he would love to have a Bad Bunny match in WWE. In fact, he wants to face him. And speaking of my thoughts, I'm going to talk about this one just for a second, because it feels like he took advantage of a very awkward situation after the Super Bowl halftime show, where his brother tweeted something that he probably shouldn't have about a guy that lives in the place that he does too, that performed on the Super Bowl halftime show. And now Logan's trying to spin it to help out little bro. He didn't want the match before. And look, you can make it look good. We were working the whole time. It's pro wrestling. I respect the hustle there a little bit. But come on, man. This one smells a bit fishy. Am I wrong, Davis? Am I overthinking this?
This world is so, everybody's got a problem with everything. And that's with the Super Bowl, obviously. I'm not going to go into politics, but we obviously all saw backlash with the Super Bowl, whether it was the actual Super Bowl halftime or the alternative Super Bowl halftime. With Bad Bunny being there, unfortunately, just for WrestleMania makes this a very talked about in the limelight. I think this should be put off a year. I think there is just too much as far as just talking points of negative, and with WWE already being in a negative light going into WrestleMania in some points with the ticket sales and a lot of backlash with that. WWE apparently had a meeting over it. I think Logan Paul and Bad Bunny would be a great match. They're both great athletes, both great celebrity wrestlers. And to me, it would be a great match to see. I think it is just a little too soon, especially with the Super Bowl fallout, with things just going on outside of wrestling. I don't think you want that negative light in Las Vegas, especially when you're going into with Saudi Arabia and WrestleMania being controversial, which I'm actually going to it. So I'm excited to learn just everything, the ins and outs with Saudi Arabia and WrestleMania and just going there.
Fun.
But with just everything just being so controversial, if I'm WWE, yeah, let's pack your bags. We're going to Dubai for 2 days. So,
yes, sir.
So with you just want to keep yourself out of like just negative news, because any news political could just be negative, whether you're right, wrong. That you just want to have a good card. That's it.
100%. Now,
1,000%. Yeah,
I think you navigated that beautifully. Now, Aunt, this is only a public relations match if they book this, right? I mean, come on, dude. What are we talking about here? They're literally only saving face for Jake if they actually book this right away, right? Come on, man. I'm not going crazy here. I'm not making this up. Like, if they book Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul anytime in the near future, it's only so Jake doesn't look like such an idiot.
A good match can make people forget a lot of dumb things being said. These two come out and put on a banger match, and then next thing you know, people forget everything what Jake Paul said. And like the match that Bad Bunny put on in Puerto Rico against Damian Priest, and yes, Damian protected Bad Bunny in that match, but Bad Bunny still looked like a person who wasn't wrestling his second match of his life ever. It was insane watching that. I mean, he was in a tag team match before that, and I don't know, man. I have no problem with this match. I think the match would be really good. Would it save face? Sure. Would it be another reason for Jake Paul to say something stupid? Yes, definitely. And all publicity is good publicity. So Jake Paul saying something out of pocket and just insane could definitely just put more eyes on it.
Absolutely. I completely hear you. And I think here's the thing, and this is really interesting. Donnie brings up a great point here. He says, I know they've talked internally about Bunny versus Logan for 2 years. Bunny has been too busy to even consider. I agree. Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense, because also there's been the talks even publicly about how passionate Bad Bunny is about the craft and how hard he trained to be ready to wrestle the matches that he has in WWE. How Logan has fallen in love with the craft and how he now considers himself a full-time pro wrestler. That's his priority, right? Those narratives add up to a great match. The timing of it after the Super Bowl tweet from Little Bro is where I'm like, hang on, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Like, that wasn't intentional. And you can play it off like it was, but it wasn't. And I didn't feel like it was at the time. I don't think anyone did. If you saw the tweet, right? That wasn't to build a wrestling match. And sometimes, the realist storylines do the best when it comes to professional wrestling. But I think in this case, it's almost too awkward now at this stage. And both Davis and you, Ant, expressed, maybe we wait a little longer, right? Maybe we do this at a different time. I'm kind of in the same spot because the aesthetics, if this match suddenly happens right away, are odd. I think there's no doubt about that, right? I just, from like if we're zooming out for a second, don't you guys think that's kind of the case? If it happens at like Mania, it's like they're.
I don't.
Do backlash. It's very low key.
With it being
low key.
Look, man, it's got to be said with the political
money, Mr. Backlash.
With the political outlook that WWE has set for itself, I don't know if you could get Benito to come back like right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Donnie's here in the comments. He said, I think mentioning it because of the attention it got from Jake's stupidity, but I don't believe it's happening anytime soon. Benito is on tour. Yeah, that's a great point. He is 100%. And then this is hilarious. We've got Pivot, Bad Bunny versus Jelly Roll from Fernando. That tickled me. And then Alex Duffy in the comments here with, I don't see Bunny returning because his music career is getting bigger. I mean, we've also got Logan Paul is highly overrated, would be good, but not the greatest match WWE has ever seen from Jack Ireland. I wouldn't even go as far as saying Logan's that overrated at this stage, but I do believe you're taking a risk inherently if you put Bad Bunny and Logan Paul opposite each other, considering the course of their careers thus far, right? Like we mentioned earlier, Damian Priest sort of carried Bad Bunny in his. Which match did you think
carried? I wouldn't say carried.
But they've also been in the ring together. Wasn't Logan opposite him in the tag match in the first
tag match? Yeah.
Yeah. So they've also been in the ring together. There is that to consider here, which is interesting. And Donnie mentioned Bunny will 100% return at some point. I'm in agreement on that. The guy's passionate about the business. It's just true. You can see it all the time. Like his connection with professional wrestling is there for sure. Absolutely. It's I think they're two of the most valuable celebrity crossovers in wrestling history because they both actually take it so seriously. Sort of changed the game on that. I think Sami Zayn maybe put it in motion when it came to his match with Johnny Knoxville. Right? Just the idea of being a little more open-minded to the crossover stuff again, like we used to see back in the 90s and whatnot. I mean, we had Mr. T in a WrestleMania main event, did we not?
You
Come
got
on, guys.
You got to add Pat McAfee in there too.
That's
think
true.
Pat-
Pat is
Bad
showed
Bunny
out.
and- yeah.
You know what? And Pat, I don't think gets enough credit because people are critical of his commentary, but his wrestling has been good. Every time you ask him to wrestle, it's been good.
Him and Gunther.
Yeah, him and Gunther was great.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather too from DCX.
Oh, Lord.
That's a way throwback. He cracked the Big Show when he
Right
cracked
there.
the
Broke
Big
his
Show.
nose.
That
Funny.
is hysterical. Now let's get on. Let's do a Mount Rushmore here, my friends. But before we do, I want to say this because when Ben sent over the Mount Rushmore of B names, I knew obviously he was mocking me for the Blake Monroe stuff earlier in the week. And I love you, Ben. But I mean, like, I'm not going to let you get away with that. No. Not like this. And he specifically said it has to be professional wrestlers whose first or last name start with the letter B. So my intention was to open with my first pick being Coco Beware, because my full name is Robert Clark Taylor. So if we did a list of your favorite wrestling podcasters whose first or last name start with the letter C, I would be disqualified. And I find that bogus. We're leaving middle names out of this list, though. And with that, I'll say this. This is a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers whose first or last name start with the letter B. And I will get us started out of the gates. My first pick, Bubba Ray Dudley. That's 3 B's. Top that, guys. How do you like me now? What do you got, Aunt You? The pick is to you.
Oh man, you said Bubba Ray Dudley? Well, if I got to go a Mount Rushmore of B names, I think I'm gonna go Bob Backlund. Let's go double B's. Bob Backlund.
I really actually hope this turns into who can get the most B's contest. I'm not gonna lie with Davis. The next pick is to you.
Let's go an era before. Let's go Bruno Sammartino.
Ooh, I like that, but you left some B's on the table.
Definitely
Now-
left some B's on the table.
Yeah, dude, you only took the one there with Bruno. At the end of the day, though, do you have another pick? Because it's back to you. Who's your second pick? It's a snake draft.
Brie Bella.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh, 2
That's
B's.
good.
That's a good one. We've got B's on the board for Davis. What do you got, Ant?
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Ooh.
Oh, man. That is going to be a tough one to top. I'm going to
That's
leave
5 B's.
That's
5 B's.
B's. I'm going to leave some others on the board. I'm going to go with Big E Langston just because I really want him on my list of B's. But then I'm going to take 2 B's with this one, and I'm going to take Bianca Belair with my next pick. So let me repeat that one more time. I'm going with Big E, and I'm taking Bianca Belair. So we've got three B's on the list here, and the pick is back to you.
Man, okay. So, yeah, I got to get a monster on my list. I got to get someone with legitimacy, and I know people will get upset. So I got to go with Dave Bautista.
Oh, wow. That is a heck of a pick. I don't know. I mean, that's only 1 B, though. That's the problem. We're running out of B's in this trap.
Donnie, that was going to be my last one.
Who do you have here, Davis, with your next pick? This is really important. Don't leave any B's on the table.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
That-
Oh,
Good.
oh, wow. That is he is. That might have given you the lead. What a comeback, too, by the way. Okay. What is your next pick? However, also snake draft.
Ooh. Bull Buchanan.
Wow. Bull Buchanan.
Hayes being
That's
an
a
unk.
good one.
Pays being an unk.
That is a good one. I respect it. And you, I believe this is actually technically your final pick. We might just do We might just do 2 Rushmores. Honestly, we have plenty of time. What do you got?
This is my final pick.
This is your final pick on what Ben's going to post on the internet.
Right. And I'm going to say this one just because I want Ben to have to go find it. And I want to say this name. Give me Balls Mahoney.
It's a great pick. It's a fascinating pick, and I think it's awesome. I am going to my final pick. I select Bobo Brazil.
Oh boy.
Squeeze in 3 more B's. Oh man, I do think honorary mention goes to B. Brian Blair. That may be the biggest stone left unturned. Oh my goodness, but that is your Mount Rushmore of wrestling names that start with the letter B. Buff Bagwell was left out there. I mean,
Baker.
Britt Baker, DMD. There's no B's in DMD. Never mind. That was a miss. That was a swing and a miss. Obviously Blake Monroe left off the list. He was smelly about balls.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was left off the list.
And we've got Give Me Big Dick Dudley from DCX Warlord. Nature Boy Ric Flair. I don't think that counts, Dad. That doesn't start with a B. Love you, Pops, but that doesn't start with a B.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Bobby Fish, Brooks Jensen, the Bunny. Bad Bunny? Oh, we left Bad Bunny off the list.
Dang, we fumbled.
B. Brian Blair is here. What's up, party people from Tom Talks Rubbish? Monster shout out. Brad Maddox, Becky Lynch. Oh, dude, we should have done 2 lists of names. Brian Pillman and Brody King from DCX Warlord.
Big John Studd.
Alex Duffy somehow forgot about Batista. I actually respect just commenting that, Alex.
I said Batista.
No, that's why it cracked me up there. I was just like, I totally forgot about Batista. That does start with a B. That's one of the funniest comments of the day. Oh, British Bulldog. What were we thinking? That's 2 B's off. And
you could have threw the junior at the end and got 2 of them.
Yeah, the Big Show, Bubba Ray, Big Boss Man.
Bobby the Brain Heenan. Big Bronson
Reed. Brock Besner. And then, okay, this list is a rip from Donnie is all time. Oh man.
Billy Gunn.
Billy Kidman.
I didn't change the graphics, so we should totally do the Rushmore again. No, I'm kidding. It was a mistake. It's just a mistake. It was a clerical error. It'll work out though. It'll buff out at the end. Big Show for me. Bobby the Brain. We've got all kinds of them. LOL. Love this. Yeah, no. Thank you, everybody, though. It's been a fun day. I mean, look, we've got all kinds of great wrestling coming up here. This is going to be an excellent week for not only WR, but the WWE and AEW. There's all kinds of good stuff going on. Bobby Boucher. Sorry, that just caught me out.
The GOAT.
Shout out Waterboy. Yeah, Medulla
Captain
Oblongata.
Insano shows no mercy.
Captain Insano shows no mercy. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, yeah, if you haven't checked out all of check out Morning Coffee. Check out Aunt You is doing all kinds. Check out all of our other shows. Make sure you watch all of our shows off the air. There's good stuff happening. We're doing fun stuff on. Wait, what? Someone just made up a name. Bear Bronson. Oh, that is a name.
Yeah,
we got more B names, dude. I love the alphabet game. I'm like trying to get us to the end of the show here as best I get. Bull James. It's outstanding. Oh, yep. Monster shout out.
Yeah.
Interview on Hinge Pop with Wildcat Chris Harris. Check that one out, no doubt. But on behalf of me, Aunt You, Davis, everybody at WR, I hope you have a great Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Of course, that's noon Pacific, 3 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock over in the UK, and 9 a.m. for my good friends in Hawaii. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will definitely talk to you soon. Don't do that, Alex, in the comments. We'll definitely talk to you. Peace. Whatever.